Right now, millions of people are stuck on the exact same question. They have student loan payments going out every single month. They know they should be investing, but they feel like they can only do one at a time, like they have to choose. And nobody online gives them a straight answer. Some people say pay off all debt before you invest a single dollar. Others say the market always wins, so never pay extra on anything. The truth is, neither of those is right. The real answer is mathematical. And once you see the math clearly, the decision becomes obvious. Let's settle this once and for all. The reason this question stresses people out so much is that it carries emotional weight. Debt feels like a moral failure for a lot of people. It sits in the back of your mind. It's heavy. And investing feels like something you do when you've got your life together. Like you have to earn the right to start. So people delay. They tell themselves they'll start investing once the loans are paid off. And then 5, 8, 10 years go by and they haven't invested anything. And they've handed the most powerful force in personal finance, which is time, over to the loan companies. Here's how to reframe this. Student loans are not a moral issue. They're a math problem. And math problems have correct answers. The core framework is this. Compare your loan interest rate to your expected investment return. If your loan interest rate is higher than what you'd earn investing, pay the loan off faster. If your expected investment return is higher than your loan rate, make minimum payments on the loan and invest the rest. That's the whole thing. Everything else is just filling in the numbers. So let's fill in the numbers. Federal undergraduate loans, subsidized and unsubsidized, have historically had rates between 3.73% and 6.54%, depending on when you borrowed. The long-term average annual return of the S&P 500 is roughly 10% per year. At a 5% loan rate versus a 10% investment return, the math is not close. You are better off making minimum payments on the loan and putting every extra dollar into an index fund. Over 20 or 30 years, that gap in returns compounds into a massive difference in wealth. Now let's look at the other side. Grad PLUS loans and private loans can carry rates of 7, 8, 9, even 12% or higher. When you're paying 9% interest on a loan, paying it down is the equivalent of earning a guaranteed 9% return on your money. You cannot consistently beat 9% in the market without taking on significant risk. At those rates, paying down the loan aggressively is often the smarter move. The crossover point, the zone where this gets genuinely close, is around 6 to 7%. At that rate, the math is almost a coin flip. And when the math is that close, personal factors should tip the decision. How much does carrying debt stress you out? How stable is your income? How comfortable are you with market volatility? There's no wrong answer in the crossover zone, so choose the one that lets you sleep at night. Now, the tax angle changes the effective rate. The IRS allows you to deduct up to $2,500 per year in student loan interest. But this phases out at higher income levels. If you're in the phase-out range, you may not be getting the full deduction. Also worth knowing, some employers now offer student loan repayment assistance, up to $5,250 per year tax-free through a federal program. If your employer offers this and you're not taking it, that's money you're leaving on the table. Here's the one rule that is non-negotiable regardless of your loan rate. If your employer offers a 401k match, you contribute enough to capture the full match before you put an extra dollar toward your loans. Every single time. Always. A 100% match on your contribution is the greatest guaranteed return in personal finance. No loan rate on earth beats doubling your money instantly. Contribute to the match first, then have the loans versus investing debate with whatever is left over. Now let's look at what the numbers actually look like over time, because this is where most people get surprised. Say you're 25 years old with $30,000 in student loans at 5%. You have $500 per month to work with above your minimum payment. Option A, you put all $500 extra toward the loans, pay them off aggressively in about 3 years, then start investing $500 per month at age 28. Option B, you make only the minimum loan payment and invest $500 per month starting today at age 25. By age 65, assuming the market returns its historical average, option B wins, often by more than $200,000. Because those 3 extra years of compounding at the start of your investing life are worth an enormous amount. Time is the most valuable asset in investing, and option A sacrifices 3 years of it to feel debt-free sooner. Flip the loan rate to 9%, and the math tilts the other way. Now, option A, paying off the loan fast and then investing, wins. Because the drag of 9% interest you're paying while the market earns 10 is close enough that getting rid of it quickly matters more. This is why there's no universal answer. The correct answer is specific to your interest rate and your timeline. One more thing that's worth saying clearly: the psychological case for paying off debt is real. Peace of mind has value. If carrying a loan balance is causing you genuine anxiety, if it's affecting your focus, your relationships, your ability to make decisions, then getting rid of it has a return that doesn't show up in a spreadsheet. You're not being irrational by valuing that. Just make sure you're making a conscious choice, not just reacting to fear. For most people, the right move is not all or nothing. It's the hybrid approach. Contribute to your 401k up to the full employer match. Then take whatever you have left and split it. Put some extra toward the loan principal and put some into a brokerage or Roth IRA. You're building momentum in both directions. The loans shrink faster than the minimum schedule. The investment account starts growing now. You're not waiting for anything. One final scenario worth knowing about. If you're on an income-driven repayment plan with a path to loan forgiveness, through public service loan forgiveness or any other program, the math flips completely. In that case, you may want to pay the absolute minimum on your loans for the entire forgiveness window and invest as aggressively as you can. Because the balance you pay off beyond the minimum is money you're voluntarily giving the government instead of letting it compound in your portfolio. If forgiveness is genuinely on the table for you, talk to someone who specializes in it before you make any extra payments. Here's the bottom line. The question isn't loans or investing. The question is how to run both in parallel and let time do its job on the investing side, while the loans become a smaller and smaller piece of your financial picture. The people who build real wealth don't wait until everything is cleaned up to start. They start now, they optimize as they go, and they never let a debt payment talk them out of putting money to work in the market at the same time. You've got the framework now. Run your numbers, make the decision that matches your rate and your life, and start both sides of this equation today. If this helped you, hit subscribe and drop a comment below. Tell me your loan rate and what you decided to do. I read everyone. And share this with someone who's been sitting on this question for too long. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect answer and start building.